On September 11, 2001, 19 terrorists hijacked 4 airplanes and carried out the deadliest attack on American soil. This is the story of that day. It was a Tuesday in New York. They called it a severe, clear day. The sky was an impossible shade of blue, without a single cloud to break the horizon. At 8 a.m., the World Trade Center was a vertical city. 50,000 people were pouring into the Twin Towers. Some were hybrid brokers on the 100th floor. Others were janitors, cooks at the windows on the World Restaurant, or tourists waiting for the observation deck to open. In the elevators, people joked about the weekend. In the lobbies, the marble floors shined. Nobody knew that 300 miles away, 4 commercial airplanes had already been turned into weapons. But for now, it was just a Tuesday, a normal, beautiful morning. At 8:46 a.m., the world changed. American Airlines Flight 11, traveling at 440 miles per hour, slammed into the North Tower. It hit high between the 93rd and 99th floors. In an instant, the North Tower became 2 different worlds. Below the impact, there was confusion, smoke, and the sound of fire alarms. Above the impact, there was no escape. The stairwells were severed. On the streets of Lower Manhattan, people stopped in their tracks. They looked up at the gaping, burning hole in the side of a building that had always seemed indestructible. At first, the word on the street was accident. A tragic pilot error, a freak occurrence. 17 minutes later, the illusion of an accident vanished. United Flight 175 curved over the New York harbor, banking sharply. Millions of people watching the North Tower on live television saw the second plane slice into the South Tower. This hit was lower between the 77th and 85th floors. The fireball was massive. In Tatsakan, the collective heart of the world skipped a beat. This wasn't a tragedy of errors. This was an attack. Inside the towers, the heroism began. We often talk about the buildings, but we must talk about the people. We talk about the stairwell group, strangers holding hands, as they descended 80 flights of stairs in the dark. We talk about the office workers who stayed behind to help disabled colleagues. While thousands were running down, hundreds were running up. The men and women of the FDNY and NYPD entered the lobbies of the burning towers. They knew the risks. They could feel the heat. They carried 60 pounds of gear up those stairs, passing civilians who were gasping for air. "Keep going," the firefighters told them. "Don't look back. Just keep going down." Many of those first responders reached the 40th, 50th, even the 70th floor. They were the shield between the fire and the people. For many, those stairs would be the last place they ever stood. At 9:59 a.m., the unthinkable happened. In the next 30 minutes, the world would witness the impossible. Twice, the South Tower, the second one hit, was the first to fall. It took only 10 seconds. 110 stories of steel and glass collapsed into a footprint of dust. A massive debris cloud, several stories high, chased people through the canyons of Wall Street. Then, at 10:28 a.m., the North Tower followed. The skyline was gone. In its place was a mountain of twisted ground zero steel, and a silence so heavy it felt physical. The air was thick with the smell of smoke and pulverized concrete. The hours that followed were a blur of ash and courage. Thousands of New Yorkers walked across the Brooklyn Bridge in a silent exodus. Ferries and private boats created the largest sea evacuation in history, moving 500,000 people off the island of Manhattan. In the days that followed, the missing posters appeared. They were taped to every lamppost and subway wall. Families searched hospitals, holding photos of loved ones in wedding dresses or graduation gowns. But in that darkness, we saw the best of humanity. Ironworkers from across the country drove to New York to help clear the pile. People stood in line for 8 hours just to give blood. The world wept with New York, but it also stood with New York. September 11th was a day of profound loss to 1,977 souls. But it was also a day that redefined bravery. Today, where the towers once stood, 2 deep pools of water fall into the earth, etched with the names of the gone. The water never stops flowing, and we never stop remembering, because while the towers fell, the values they stood for, community, resilience, and the refusal to be broken stayed standing. But amidst the mountains of debris, one mystery was buried deeper than all the rest. What really happened to the gold in the World Trade Center's vault? Like, follow, and subscribe for more. Until next time.